Welcome, Navya.
Hi, hello. Thank you so much for having me here. That was a very kind introduction.
Thank you for being here, and I hope that this makes you feel at home, a little bit at home.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so let's start this conversation by discussing something that's extremely close to your heart, which is Project Naveli. Um, what has inspired you to create this gender equal world?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me here. I think it's been a dream of mine to come onto this platform and get an opportunity to speak. So, very, very grateful for the chance. Project Naveli is, something we began, and I say we because I don't think I'm alone responsible for the work that we do at the foundation. We work mainly in democratizing access to healthcare, legal awareness, and entrepreneurship for women in India. It's been a very special journey for me and the entire team at Project Naveli because I think a lot of the conversations that we have at the foundation, a lot of the work that we do is something that I think young people in India should be more and more involved in. And very grateful to have incredible partners who've supported that dream and that vision. So, really grateful for the opportunities that we've had to democratize, like I said, access to entrepreneurship and healthcare, which I think are two of the strongest pillars that we have in our country today. And I think women, especially, are playing a leading role in those pillars. So, I'm very happy to be, a small part of that journey.
So, not a lot of people know this, and they often associate you with Project Naveli. Tell us something about Project Nimaya.
So Nimaya is an organization that I co-founded. Actually, my co-founder is here as well somewhere. So Nimaya is actually a very interesting thought that Samyak and I, my co-founder, came up with. We increasingly talk about technology and how it is changing the way that we live our lives and the way that we work. And of course, while that is a positive, I think that something that also worries me is how technology will impact the workforce of India, especially the young workforce. As you know, young people are a very large percentage of India's workforce, and I think technology, though, has brought about a lot of advancements in our lives, especially the way that we do work in business. I think there is also a negative side to it in the sense that we are hearing about it increasingly replacing human jobs. At Nimaya, what we do is focus on something that technology cannot replace, which is human intelligence. Um, I think young people increasingly bringing out our soft skills. The human side of us in the workplace is what will give us an advantage in the future to not be replaced by technology but work alongside it in the most productive manner. So at Nimaya, we have a program where we work with girls in colleges who are about to join the workforce and really enable them to not just build aspirational careers in India's workforce, but also prepare them for a very different kind of work environment that we're seeing today, where technology plays a very large part and how we can really, like I said, work alongside rather than be replaced by technology.
It's interesting that you're talking about this because, on one end you're talking about this entire new generation of Gen Zs and, also talking about workplace. Now, there's the biggest misconception about Gen Zs is that they don't want to put in a hard day's job. They are often working on themselves and, there's a lot of mental health breakdowns and all of that. I want to understand from you, how do you manage to navigate that kind of workforce and being Gen Z yourself? What are your thoughts about working hard and leisure?
See, I didn't know that was a misconception, but I would like to stand up for all other Gen Zs in India today. I think actually a very hardworking generation, and when you talk about mental health, I think a great topic once again that has increasingly come into the forefront, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. I think it's great that we're giving more emphasis to conversations around mental health. I also feel that Gen Zs, like I said, being a very large percentage of India's population, really are the future of the country, really are the future drivers of where this economy will go, where every industry will go. And I think that we realize that, and I think we recognize that the responsibility that comes with, and I think that's exactly why a lot of young people today are, dabbling in different things, different businesses, different platforms, which I think is a great thing. And I feel that it's increasingly important for us as a country to let the youth participate in as many ways as we can because this is our future to build, and I think we must play a very important role in that. Um, so yeah, I don't think Gen Zs are not hardworking. In fact, I would say it's the opposite,
They're hardworking and working hard on themselves.
which I think is never a bad thing.
Okay. So, where does this zeal and this enthusiasm to work for other people, to empower other women come from? Considering your legacy, did you never think that you wanted to be a part of that, but you wanted to carve something of your own? When did that happen? When did that switch and decision making happen?
I think, not just me, I think everyone has a legacy to carry forward. I inherited one, you've inherited one. I think everyone seated here today has inherited one. And we all play a very strong part, for the rest of our lives in living up to that and taking that forward. I'm doing my part in what I am most passionate about, which is entrepreneurship and business and more importantly, social impact. These are things that I have always been extremely inclined towards. And I think that's where I see my future and I see my efforts lie. Having said that, it was not a thought that, this is what I want to do. I think irrespective of the background that I come from, this would be something that I always wanted to do. So I don't think that background or legacy comes into play there. I think it's about me being an individual and me being a young woman in India today who wants to do my part in leaving society a better place than we found it. I think we all have a responsibility to do that, and I'm very fortunate that I get to do what I do every day, that I get to do what I love every day. That's not a reality for many young people today, so I think I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I get, and I try to make the most of them.
Yeah, you truly do. So you never wanted to act ever?
No.
Okay. So one of the banes of our generation, and I'm sure you agree, considering recently you were a part of this whole IIM thing when you posted that you got through and all of that. I want to understand, how do you as a person deal with online trolling, which is because our work today is up for commentary. When you put up a podcast, when I put up an interview, when I put up a conversation with someone, everyone has something to say. I want to understand, as a young girl who's running her business online, who has a successful podcast which is dependent on online success, how do you deal with trolls and negative commentary?
Firstly, I would say that social media has been a great platform because it's given a lot of people a voice. A lot of people who, previously might not have had that kind of platform or reach to voice their opinions. I think it's a great place for me as well as an individual to put my work out there. It's been a great tool that, if used in the right way, and I really want to emphasize on that, I think if used in the right way, really has the potential to bring about a lot of positive change. Having said that, and that you bring up IIM, I think extremely fortunate to be a part of such an incredible institution. I think, and I have always said this, I think India has some of the finest institutions in the world. And having now been a part of an institution like IIM Ahmedabad, I can say that I'm very fortunate to be getting my higher education at such a place under the guidance and teaching of, I think, some of the world's finest professors. So very, very fortunate to be a part of that family. Trolling, see, I think that I have made an active choice, an active decision to put myself out there, to put my work out there. And if I consider myself somebody who's working for people, which I do because of Project Naveli and the work that we do, I don't think I can be against or offended by things people have to say. In fact, I think it's important for me to look at what people have to say about me and my work. It will only make me a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better Indian. I think it's very important for us to take critical feedback in the correct way. So I don't take offense to anything that people say. I actually also accept that I come from a very different lived reality to most people in India today. I come from a very privileged background, and I have been given a lot more opportunities than, say, other young women my age. So I think, of course, people will have something to say about that, and I think it's important for me to be open-minded and take all of that feedback and do the best that I can with myself and my work. So I don't give too much thought to what people say negatively. I actually use it to do the best that I can in my journey.